All right, it's showtime, and we're back to follow up on our space milestones with Jim Green, who's the former chief scientist at NASA and our chairman of the Metavisionaries, and Dr. Huda Alfardus, who is the CEO of Health Gina. Welcome, guys. We had a discussion previously in regards to the eclipse that happened in the US today. Jim, what was it like?
Well, I'm here in Cleveland, and of course, the weather is not always crystal clear like it is out perhaps in the desert. But so we had some high altitude clouds, but we did get to see a number of fantastic things. For instance, we saw prominences right during the time of the totality. Now, prominences are begin in the atmosphere of the sun and can reach great heights and then return to the sun. So it's a column of gas, like a tornado or some sort of uh, swirl of magnetic field and hot plasma, what we call this hot gas. And so we saw that. That was fantastic. You could see that with your eye. It was bright red. And then the Smithsonian has gone out and taken a picture of the sun, and they have posted it. So if I have an opportunity to share my screen, I'd show you what that looked like. All right.
Yes, please do. Yeah.
All right. Let's
Anything
see. How do I
unexpected
share my
happened, by
screen?
the way, Jim? Or everything
Well,
went as planned?
to me, there was one thing unexpected, and I have an image of it, and let me
Oh.
move it to my computer. I'm going to airdrop it
It's always
right
nice
now.
to see it in real life.
Yeah,
Yep.
so this is something I took. Yeah, let me
Mm.
send it. Okay, airdrop, it's there. Okay, so there's the image I took. Now, during an eclipse, you want to be safe. We talked
Mm.
about how to be safe, and you always want to be protected.
Mm.
And I had, as I showed you last time, the nice little viewer that I could stick over my face. And when I did that, I could really see something very interesting. So let me go to, let's see, how do I share my screen, Wasim? Can I do that?
You can, Jim. So if you want to send it to me, Jim,
Present.
yeah, present us.
Okay, yeah, share screen. There it is. Okay, share screen. Fine. Okay.
And just
You're
Okay.
so excited now. Just share the screen.
All
Jim,
right. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
I'm trying to drop it, but it's not letting me drop it on the screen.
what I would do, Jim, is just to share
I'll send
screen.
it to you.
Yep, send it to me.
Okay. Yeah,
Perfect.
I'll share screen. Ah, okay. Now there's a window. Let's see. Can I share that?
Yep, got it.
All right. Okay. So this is my
Awesome.
little card that blocks out the intense light of the sun, and I just held it up, and you see the clouds. The clouds are coming in, but you also see this ring. This is the shadow on the moon of the moon on the
Mm.
clouds above us. Okay. And of course, what happens during the eclipse is as it gets near totality, it gets really cold.
Mm.
All right, and I mean I'm in Cleveland, and so the temperature is probably, I don't know, 56 degrees, maybe 54 degrees, and then and in the sunlight, but it had to go below 50. Right at totality, it was, you could feel like, gee, I forgot to wear a coat.
Mm.
So it was
Okay.
really quite nice. Yes.
So what does it get very cold? Like, does it get colder than the normal time when the night is there in Cleveland? Like during the
Ah,
eclipse, it gets
well,
colder than the night?
what happens, of course, is as the sun goes down, it doesn't heat the atmosphere, and so it begins to cool. Same effect. It's just like,
Same effect as the evening, so not colder than that. Okay.
yeah, not colder than that. Now, let me get
Mm.
out of this. Let's see how to get out of this. Unshare my screen, close the window. Now, did that bring us back to normal?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's one other picture I wanna show you, and so let me share my screen on that one. This one I did not take. You know, as I mentioned, people that want to see the eclipse don't bother taking pictures. Really sit and enjoy
Mhm.
it. I mean, the birds stopped chirping. It got cold. You know, the moon started covering. You know, the whole sun, and all of a sudden we could see some really fantastic things pop out. I saw Jupiter. I saw Saturn. You know,
You did?
yeah,
Okay.
because they're on the other side of the solar system, and when you block out the sunlight, you then are looking across the solar system and seeing them on the other side of the sun.
And
So
were you
that's
expecting
pretty
that,
neat.
or that was part of the unexpected then?
No, that was part of the expected. So let's see. Here's the biggest unexpected part. Now let me go back
Okay.
to sharing my screen. So let me present. Let's share screen. Let's go there, and let me go with a window I want to show. And so this is what I want to show you. You see it?
Ah.
It's during the eclipse, and you
Hmm.
see the red prominences. Okay, these
Yep.
are in the atmosphere of the sun. Now, the rest of the
Mm-hmm.
behind the sun is the extensive corona. All these
Mm-hmm.
streamers that are coming out. Now, this was taken by the Smithsonian right at the time of maximum, and you could see these red these red spots on the sun. Now, what's the one we saw the most is the really bright one
Mm-hmm.
that you could see, which is the furthest one right. Now, this
Mm-hmm.
was taken by a telescope, which
Mm.
means it's upside down and backwards from what the real sun looks like. So these on the upper left are actually on the lower right as you would look at the sun. So we could see these bright prominences on in the atmosphere of the sun, you know, exploding, going out into space, and you can see the magnetic field lines all around it, and that's these streamers that you see. They are magnetic field lines holding hot gas, and that's what we're looking at. And right at the bottom of those streamers, where you see the bright red spots, that's
Mm-hmm.
where the sun is really active. Now, what's
Mm-hmm.
under them could be sunspots. Okay, now they're right. That means they're right at the edge of the sun. They haven't rotated in yet. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so that was pretty exciting. That's unexpected. You can only see those prominences with by a spacecraft specially designed to see them in
Mm.
certain wavelengths of light or during an eclipse. And so I have to
Yeah.
tell you another exciting thing that happened here in Cleveland. I'm at a friend's house, and so the neighborhood, you know, is really quiet. It's a nice, lovely little neighborhood, but people were starting to come out, and they're on their deck or they're in their yard, and then all of a sudden, during the totality, you could hear the crowd. The people were oohing and ahhing all over the place. I mean, it was really nice to hear people really get excited about the eclipse. I like that a lot when that happens. All
It's
right, let me
amazing.
stop
Yeah.
sharing my screen. And
So it kind of always brings people together to kind of watch
it
this
does.
amazing
And
film.
then
Yeah.
for whatever reason, you
Mm.
know, these Cleveland people like fireworks, so they're throwing firecrackers, and you know, and it's like
Celebrating
the
the
fourth.
occasion almost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, what we call Fourth of July here in the United States, where we
Yeah.
have
Yeah. Yeah.
celebrations, and so
Awesome.
that's what happened. That was our experience today of a fabulous event. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run around and I'm going to get some of the glasses that people had and save them and bring them with me to Riyadh in
Yes, please.
2027.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
and
amazing. Yes.
we'll see the total eclipse in Riyadh. We could see it, you know, from anywhere in that area. I mean, it'll be easy. They'll be easy to see, and we'll have a lot of fun. Okay.
Yeah. Always the sky here is clear, so I guess during that time you won't have the problem of the clouds that you've had there.
Yeah,
So
but you won't see the picture I showed you of the shadow on the clouds, but
mhm.
you'll see
You see
everything else
something
and
different.
more and more.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Jim,
We're looking forward to it.
the amount of, for example, just like the amount of missions you've done in your career and the amount of eclipses you've seen, I mean, does it excite you the same every time you see it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. Oh, absolutely. Because you know, every time you have an eclipse, the sun is in a certain state of its cycle. The
Mm,
sun has what we call a sunspot cycle, for which the corona can get really big, like you see here, really well developed, fabulous streamers, all kinds of beautiful structures. That happens during solar maximum. That means the maximum number of sunspots that are on the sun. That is slated to be in July of this year. Okay,
mhm,
so
mhm.
July of this year, solar maximum, and so I expected to see some fabulous solar stuff, and I
Mhm.
did, I did, and
Yeah.
so did those people that are taking the images, etc. But I've seen eclipses during solar minimum, okay, and the streamers are not as well developed. There's few, if not hardly any, sunspots, and so every eclipse has a certain feature associated with it. Where is it in the solar cycle?
Mhm.
How extensive is the corona? You know,
Yeah.
now the corona, it can these things can be quite violent on the sun, and as I mentioned, we can get a coronal mass ejection throwing, you know, a huge amount of matter at us, you know, like the mass of Mount Everest comes flying at us, and then hits our magnetosphere, and then our magnetosphere tries to rearrange itself to protect us, and sometimes it breaks down during these really great events. But every time we get a coronal mass ejection, we get aurora. And so aurora is part of what we talked about last time, which is
Yeah.
space weather.
Amazing. Okay, and then we also hear about the objects orbiting the sun, and we can find
Yeah,
this out during the eclipse. We can
yeah,
discover more. Yeah.
we can. So I have a graphic. Let me do this. I'll show you what I was looking for during the eclipse. Not only the beautiful view of the sun, but also the beautiful set of planets that were arranged around it. So let me now. This is a simulation. This is not what I really saw. Oh, I did another thing. I did another thing. Let me do this one too. So I will let me do airdrop on that one. Yep, let's do airdrop. So that's a fun one. Okay. All right.
Sorry, we're doing
Yeah.
everything
Now.
on the spot now. All the questions that come to mind, we just fire them at you and just like, show us,
Yeah.
Jim.
Yeah. Yeah. Just fire away. So here's another
Thank
one I
you.
liked. Here's another
Mm-hmm.
one I liked. This one I also took. Um, you know, I recognize that not everybody knows what to do
Mm-hmm.
during eclipse other than sit and watch the phenomena, but there are some
Yeah.
neat things you can do. And one thing
Like what?
is you can get a colander. Now this is a
Mm-hmm.
colander. Okay, do you see that? And it allows the sunlight to go through every hole in the colander. Okay, do you see it? Okay, but if you look closely, those are not circles. They're the circle, but a piece has been eaten out of it, and it's been eaten out of it because that indeed is the representation of the sun and the moon and its configuration at the time that it was observed. So that's
So is
pretty
this an
cool.
artistic
That's pretty
effect
cool.
thing? Like, what? Why would someone do this? Is it like for art purposes, or?
Yeah, it's for art purposes, but also if you don't have a pair of glasses and you don't want to look at the sun, don't look at the sun. Please don't look at the sun with your unaided eye. You can use a colander, and you can see where the moon is, how far in advance of the eclipse the moon has progressed over time. So you can see that this whole thing just go away over time, and then you can look up and see the sun without your glasses during the total eclipse. Okay,
Amazing.
so let me get out of that one. Okay, and then I'll show you what I was looking for the solar system. Although I could only see a little bit of it. So let me stop sharing. All right, now let me go to another one. So we're going to go to this picture right here. Okay, so now let me share my screen on that one. Okay, and this is what I had this. This was done. It's on the internet. You can see it. But I had taken an image of it and put it on my phone so that while I'm out looking at the eclipse, I could look for these objects. So what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the planets. Okay. All right. Can you see that? So there's the sun during the eclipse, and then Venus was below it. And then you could also see Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter. Okay. So Jupiter was really pretty obvious. I could easily see Jupiter. Couldn't see Mercury. Now, Mercury I probably couldn't see because the streamers and the clouds prevented the Mercury from being seen because the light from Mercury was being shaded. And so we weren't going to be able to see it. Now, I also saw Venus, and it's very bright, which means it's close to the Earth. So I could see Jupiter and I could see Venus. I tried to see Saturn and Mars, but I don't think we did. I think what I was looking at was Venus. Was closer to the sun than Mars was. Now, you're not going to see Uranus nor Neptune without a telescope anyway. So the key planets you could see during the eclipse were Jupiter. Might be able to see Mercury, Venus, Saturn, and Mars. Those were all naked eye objects. The other Uranus and Neptune are not naked eye objects. And I saw Jupiter and Venus. You needed to know where to look to see them. And I could see them. So that was fun. And so let me stop sharing my screen. Okay, there we go. So that's what I have to report. A good time was had by all. It wasn't completely clear, but we got to see some really fascinating phenomena. A total solar eclipse with prominences and the moon's shadow on our clouds as it passes by us. Pretty neat.
Amazing. And thank you for sharing this with us. We really were looking forward to it before, and now hearing all of this after, it sounded amazing.
Yeah, I'm so glad we had a nice time, and now it's really pretty hazy. So we probably did pretty good. At one time earlier today, it was completely clear, not a cloud in the sky, but that was too many hours away. But in Riyadh 2027.
I was just about to say it, but I don't want to keep going on about how clear the weather is here. It doesn't.
I'll make a prediction. When we're there for the eclipse at Riyadh, we will see some spectacular stuff. Now, 2027, so that's 3 years away. It will be on the downward side of the solar cycle. So we should see a nice corona. We should still see streamers and things.
We'll prepare our research stuff for it that time. I have a lot of research questions that needs to be answered. So we'll prepare it all then.
Bring it on. And hopefully we'll see some prominences. Now, I've never seen prominences in an eclipse. So this is the first time I saw prominences, and I could see them with my naked eye. Okay. That's huge. That means they have to be bigger than 8 diameters of the Earth. To be seen with the naked eye. Okay.
Amazing. That's amazing.
Well, it was a great follow-up report from the previous session. Despite it being cloudy, it was good to see what you saw, Jim. And for all of those who are watching, we're really looking forward to more sessions like these. As I said, we're going to be doing a regular session every week. So, any last words, Huda or Jim?
Yes, I forget to say that we're doing the moon sighting. Me and Jim were talking about it offline just so. Yeah, that's kind of like one of the things that you could think about space applications in our normal life. So every month we obviously anticipate the start of the lunar calendar, like the is the month full month, 30 days or like 29 days. And especially that's important when it comes to the end of Ramadan and the start of Eid, because that's a celebration, a national celebration, and an Islamic celebration to kind of like prepare for. So everybody was today looking to see if they can sight the moon, and actually it couldn't be sighted. So it means that we will continue 30 days, and our Eid will be after tomorrow, not tomorrow.
Well,
So
and of course, the reason why they couldn't see it is it was too close to the sun.
mm,
It's
see,
it's
that's why I was
during
like, let's
new
link it. It's
yeah,
one
it's
sun, one moon, huh?
yeah, it's during new moon, which means that
Mm.
the moon is on the sunward side of the earth as we would look out.
So it was linked somewhat to what was going on at your
Oh,
side.
sure. Oh, absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Well,
Amazing.
with that, we're going to leave you all. Thank you so much for joining. Huda and Jim, thank you so much for joining this, and all of yours who watch. Keep out for regular sessions, and we'll be looking to share a lot with you all. Good night.
Good night. Take care.
Bye.